Being a doctor is one of the things that I'm most proud of and is a huge source of identity and joy for me. But lately I've been experiencing a lot more burnout, and I see it all around me. So many doctors are drowning, feeling overly burdened by responsibilities, and I am too. And it has me realizing that there's this paradox, which is the same qualities and traits and beliefs that allowed us to become doctors, or probably to achieve any major success in life, are the same things that I think are fueling burnout and leading to a more fragmented life. And what I mean by this is, in order to become a doctor, we learn at a very young age and going through the system that we always have to say yes. We always have to get things right. We never can be disliked or disappoint people. That we have to put the needs of everybody else around us before ours, even if it's at the expense of our experience or our livelihoods. And obviously, to some degree, this is required. In order to be able to train and to become a doctor, there's maybe no way around this. But what I see happening is that the same programming and the same belief systems that got us to that point continue even as we're attendings and even as we're doctors, or we've kind of reached a stage where there maybe isn't as much external pressure on us as there was, but we're still operating with that belief. And it's leading to burnout. At least it's leading to burnout for me. I've been doing a lot of deep work lately on myself, and I'm starting to learn how to set boundaries and to say no and to be able to tolerate being disliked or disappointing people. And ironically, it's making me a better doctor. And I think if we don't learn these lessons, we can really become burned out. I see so many doctors around me who maybe are financially stable, or they have schedules that are a little bit less crazy than they were during residency, but yet they still come to work early and leave late and message patients in the middle of the night or after hours. And they're going above and beyond repeatedly, but it's at the expense of their own livelihood and their own experience. And I think that it's coming from this deeper fuel and belief that in order to be valuable, we have to be useful. And doing something for ourselves or saying no or disappointing somebody is morally wrong. And there's like this martyrdom or this service and duty complex that I think that we're mistaking as the end all be all for us. And it's harming us. It's causing people to feel resentful, because in order to be a normal person and a normal human, we have to also take into consideration our limits and our needs. It took me 8 years to learn that when I have a busy schedule, 22 patients in the day, that it's okay for me to say, no, I can't see any more patients today. I'm full. There's other avenues for the patients to be taken care of, urgent care, emergency room. And it's also taken me a long time to learn that making everybody and every patient and every colleague and everybody in my life happy all the time is not sustainable and is coming at the expense of my own life. And I think that the ultimate cause of burnout in a lot of us isn't necessarily so much the system's pressures on us as it is our own pressures on ourselves. Again, this incessant and unending need for us to constantly feel like we're helping or we're controlling or we're needed. And I think it's a really misguided version of service. As I've been getting better at setting boundaries and prioritizing rest and being able to tolerate disappointing people and saying no more, I've been able to take much better care of my patients. I've been able to make much better decisions. They've been feeling much better cared for. And ultimately, it's been much more sustainable. So many doctors end up quitting or end up leaving medicine because it's just unsustainable, the pressures that we're putting on ourselves. And I think if you're experiencing a lot of burnout, you really need to ask yourself, am I putting unrealistic expectations on myself? Am I equating my value with martyrdom or with sacrifice to the point of exhaustion and damaging myself? Because that's not necessarily a good thing or even morally right. A lot of us can trace this back to our childhoods and our beginnings. I had a great childhood, but there was problems along the way. And for me, it was a lot of the middle child, mediator, peacemaker, eventually the golden child, eventually finding validation in getting good grades, and finally feeling like I belonged, and finally finding some positive feedback from something that was so powerful for me. And I think for a lot of doctors, we get this positive reinforcement and this negative reinforcement to this point where we become these robotic versions of humans, where everything we have to do is purposeful, is useful, is correct, is just this perfect thing. And that's not a sustainable way to live your lives. And I think if we can learn that sometimes it's okay to just do something because you want to, or to not do something because you don't want to, or to disappoint somebody, or to say no, or to set limits that are just normal limits, that's not wrong and that's not bad. That's actually really good. And it leads to a more sustainable existence. And the paradox is that that actually also allows you to be even a better and more powerful and useful doctor in the long run. So again, the main point of this video is for us to just recognize that becoming a doctor, becoming successful is an amazing thing. But for some of us, it required patterns that ultimately can become cages for us and can really result in burnout. So it's sometimes important for us to be grateful for the things that we've gotten to at this point with those patterns and behaviors, but to kind of graduate from them and to evolve from them into a further level. And so we can have a more sustainable practice in the long run. I hope this video was helpful for you. I want to continue to make more content about the experience of medicine and the unconscious drivers behind our decisions. So if you like this video, please leave a comment below or make any suggestion for any future content. Thank you so much.